Parakeet. George.
Hi everyone, I'm Marlene McCohen with Parrot Talk. I am back. I've been gone for a month. I've been away directing a film, so I apologize for that. So what I am making for you today is the video that you have all been asking me for, and that is, how do I tame my parrot? This is going to be different depending on how you got your parrot. I mean, if you have a baby, it's going to be a lot easier. You may have gotten a bird from a friend that was once tame and now he's not. And you may have gotten an aggressive bird, kind of like what Rocky used to be. So there's a lot of different ways, and none of these steps have to be done in this particular order. But these are the things that I do whenever I get a bird, and believe me, I have had all those situations with all of my birds. So take what you can from this video, use what works for you, and don't use what doesn't. But this is what I do, and it's what you've all been asking me for. You see how aggressive he still is sometimes. When you get your bird, place your bird's cage in the center of the house, in the living room, in the dining room, somewhere where all of the action is. Your bird wants to feel included. You see how cranky he is when I ignore him? Birds want to feel included. They are part of a flock. So they need to feel like you are their flock mates, believe it or not. So make sure your bird is in the middle of all the action where he can see everything that's going on. Do not close or lock the bird's cage. Sure, if you're going out and you want the bird to be safe, you know, close the cage, lock him up. But when you're home, let the bird out. I mean, you don't even have to be holding him, but it's really good for birds to know that you have no intention of keeping them locked in their cage. It's really good for establishing trust. So like my bird Rocky here, those of you that have followed him and know his story, he was locked in a cage for 10 years. When I brought him home, I just never closed the door on his cage, and he then started coming out and started feeling like, you know, I'm not gonna give him that kind of torture, which is what it felt like to him. So I think the first thing you need to do is let the cage be open. There's lots of cages that are flat, where birds play on top. Some cages have like play stands on top, and you don't necessarily have to be holding the bird all the time. If he has a nice play area on top, he'll just come out, stand there, look at you, feel like he's included, feel like he's free. So that is the second thing that I always do. Now, me being, you know, a bird lover forever, I go straight to trying to hold the bird and play with the bird. This is much easier if you're dealing with a baby bird or a bird that someone has been able to handle before. But if you are dealing with a bird that has always been aggressive, I think you should leave the bird out a little bit longer and work your way from the top of a cage to a stand like this before you start trying to handle the bird. Rocky was a particularly aggressive bird when we first got him. He still kind of got his like crankiness, but I would roll the stand over and wait for him to come sit down on it, because birds need to be lower than you. So remember, in all of the training that you're doing with your bird, keep him low so that he doesn't feel like higher than you. Birds are very dominant creatures, so it's always good to like handle them lower and play with them lower. Now we've come to the step up game. I'm going to move Rocky out of the way for the step up game because he can be aggressive towards other birds. And here we are. He might stand over there complaining because he's really jealous. So this is Picasso's tree. It's pretty much his own tree. It's his own spot. Nobody else really hangs out on it from other birds. But now watch, Picasso's going to be a little bit aggressive. He doesn't actually bite, but it's going to look like he does because he's on his tree. Now the first thing to remember, I'm going to demonstrate this, is when you approach your bird or anybody else's bird, if you approach from the beak, he's gonna bite because, you know, you wouldn't wanna do anything with this. So always reach for his feet. Now the bird may have a particular hand that he likes to step up on. For me in Picasso, it's always my right hand. You see how that works? So alternate hands and see if there's something that works better for you. Now, Picasso wants to go back to his tree right now. He's kind of relaxing and feeling comfortable there. He's not always like that. In fact, most of the time he wants to be with me, but you see right now how he wants to go there. That's where he wants to be. So we're going to use that to our advantage for the step up game. So Picasso, come here. Yeah, come here. Step up. Good bird. So how we're going to use that is this way. I'm going to have him step up towards the area that I know he wants to be because he's going to be more motivated to step up in that direction. For example, if you have a cage that he likes or a person that he wants to be near, this is always really helpful. So what the first thing you're going to do is approach the bird and tell him step up. Once he steps up, tell him good bird. You can give him a kiss, or if he's too aggressive, give him a treat, because a treat really validates that positive, you know, positive reaction in him. So here we go. So what you would do is you continue to do that, step up until he learns to step up. So step up, good bird. And you always go a little bit higher than your other finger because birds like the highest point. You see how he's pushing me away now? But he'll step up, right? Step up, good bird. Step up, good bird. And then at this point you would give your bird a treat because then he knows that he's doing something really good. So positive reinforcement is really important with the birds. If you have a bird that's going to learn to talk, he'll eventually tell you step up, and he may even say good bird. So those are really fun words to teach your bird while you're doing it. So remember, never go for the beak because you're probably just going to get him to bite. Always go for the feet and make your finger a little bit higher than the other finger. Okay? And the third thing is in the direction of a place you know he wants to go. So that's a really good way to play the step up game. And of course, don't forget to give your bird a treat. This is Rocky's rolling stand. It's really important to have another stand or play area where your bird can be next to you all the time and feel included. So if I'm in the dining room, he's gonna scream if he doesn't see me. So create a way for your bird to roll around from room to room and hang out with you. He loves it. It's much easier to approach him when he's on the stand because he's lower than when he is on his cage. He feels more included because we can drag it anywhere that we are. And overall, it's a really good way to interact with your bird. Now, if your bird is really friendly and easy to handle, like Picasso, then carry him everywhere with you. Carry him on your shoulder, include him in your activities. I shower with my birds on top of, you know, the door, so they're always sitting there. If I'm brushing my teeth in the bathroom, he's sitting on the handlebars. My birds are included in everything that I do, and you have to be prepared for that when you get a bird. So if you don't, they're going to scream, and that's going to be one of the things that you're going to have to get used to. So include your bird, bring him everywhere, and give him treats. I also include my bird when I eat. I always share my food with them, but you got to make sure that you're giving them healthy treats and getting them used to eating healthy things. Otherwise, they will chase you down and try to get your bar of chocolate, and that is not good for your birds. Bird! Proud bird. Yeah. So those are our tips for taming a bird. But remember guys, there is more than one way to do it. There's different orders. There are so many things. These are just guidelines. So if something specific has worked for you, please feel free to leave me a comment and let me know. Or if you have any more questions, I love comments. I love hearing from you guys. Also, I love it when you subscribe. So please subscribe and become part of my talk. Now, I also make videos that I call Parrot Talk My Flock. Those are just little funny videos that happen around the house. I put them up under those, so check those out too. Those are about living with a parrot. Right now they are doing the It's Time for Bed scream, which is what you heard Picasso do, and the I need to get out of here. So I'm going to go, but I love to hear from you guys. Check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Instagram has a lot of pictures of me in bird world and regular world. So thank you so much.